I was in the middle of teaching class when I got a text from a phone number with an area code from Texas. I was in California, not Texas, so it made no sense. The text read, "You have 72 hours to confess to what you did in front of the entire school, or else I will." I laughed, thinking it was some weird Indian scammer who wanted to pretend he was a Nigerian prince so I'd send him money. So I went back to teaching. But 3 minutes later, my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't just a text message, it was a photo of my bathroom window unlocked. The text read, "You left your bathroom window unlocked last night?" My heart skipped a beat. This wasn't funny anymore. A third photo came in. It was a photo of my bathtub filled with what looked like bloody water. The message read, "I told you to confess what you did, or I will for you." I zoomed in on the photo and it was obvious that it was red food coloring, not blood. But the threat was clear. Someone was after me. I called in a substitute teacher to take care of my class, and I immediately sped down to the police station. They sent 2 round-bodied police officers to come to investigate my home. There were clear signs of forced entry. I could immediately tell they DGF about me, because they were more focused on licking the donut icing off their fingers than helping me. And 2 minutes later, I was proven right, because they took one look at the fake bloody bathwater and laughed. "Dude," the large round man bellowed. "Man up and figure it out yourself. We have bigger fish to fry." The other officer nodded his head approvingly. My stomach dropped. No one cared that someone had decided to put a random target on my back. I was left to figure it out for myself. I tried blocking the number, but they kept getting new numbers, finding a new way to contact me. I didn't want to go teach the next day, but I was broke that I couldn't afford to call in sick. For the entire day, I couldn't stop myself from scanning my students' faces to see if any of them were the ones behind it. But I literally taught a class of 3rd graders. They could barely even write in cursive, let alone send me anonymous death threats. At the end of the day, I went to the parking lot to get in my car, but I looked down and saw the car tires were slashed. There was a note under the windshield. It read, "You have 40 hours left. If you don't confess in front of the entire school, I will ruin every one of your students' lives, and it'll be your fault." My hands shook as I read it. This anonymous texter was watching me, and they weren't afraid to take things further. I immediately walked back towards the school and into the principal's office. I showed him the note, the texts, everything. "You need to confess," he said with a straight face. I furrowed my brows. "What do you mean? I didn't effing do anything." "I don't care," he interrupted. "Confess to something. Parking in the wrong spot, gum under the table. This isn't about you anymore. It's about the students." I nodded because I knew he was right. "The school performance is tomorrow. I can do it then." I couldn't sleep that night. The anonymous texter was texting me at every hour, reminding me of how much time was passing. 28 hours left, 27 hours left, 26 hours left. I felt like I was losing my mind. When the performance finally came, I was jumping out of my skin with excitement. Things would finally be over with. Everyone was there. Parents, teachers, students, everyone. The room went silent as the students got ready to go on stage and perform the Little Red Riding Hood. They were about to start when I stood up. Ahem, ahem. I cleared my throat until everyone turned to face me. "I have a confession to make. Someone caught me dropping my french fries on the floor and picking it up to eat it when it had been there for 14 seconds. I broke the 10-second rule. I'm sorry." I looked around the room to see everyone staring at me blankly. The principal nodded his head approvingly. I sat back down and faced the stage like nothing happened. When the show continued, my phone buzzed. It was the Texan number again. "Not good enough. You still need to apologize for what you did." That's when it clicked. This person was in this room. I stood up and waved my arms in the air. "Stop!" The room went silent again. I called the number. A phone in the crowd started ringing. It was the Texan. He stood up, knowing he was caught red-handed. "You're stealing my son from me!" he cried. Like literal tears were streaming down his face. He stood up and walked out, and I followed him to the front garden where we spoke. He spoke first. "I'm Archie's father," was the first thing he said. I responded, "Archie is my favorite student. I know him like the back of my hand." "What's wrong?" "That's exactly the problem," he interrupted. "I abandoned him and his mom 4 years ago. Now I'm back in his life, and he sees you as his father more than me. You need to
Click
back
the
off
link
and
on the
apologize."
homepage
I
to
gave him
watch
the
the
middle
full
finger and
follow-up
walked
for
back
free.
inside.